This is Melissa Thomas of Florida National News. We are here in front of the Orange County Administrative Building. We're prepping to go inside for the first public budget hearing for 2017, or actually for the new fiscal year coming up. But before they start that, Mayor Jacobs and the county commissioners will actually be discussing the preparations for Hurricane Irma that is coming this weekend. So stay tuned here for the updates as to what they will have in store for Orange County in preparation for the hurricane. This is Melissa Thomas, Florida National News.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Currently, what we're looking at is the current track as of 2 p.m., which was the latest available to us from the National Weather Service. This is Hurricane Irma. She's a Category 5 hurricane. Currently, she's sitting off the northern coast of Dominican Republic, and she's boasting over 175 miles an hour winds. And it's moving about 16 miles an hour. So what we can expect here in Orange County, right now this is just a projected path. You can see the cone of certainty. So we're looking at around about Saturday afternoon, early Sunday morning, we probably will start to feel some winds. So what we're doing in preparation of that, we've activated the EOC. We're at level 2 today and tomorrow on Friday, and we're making preparations and moving things in place. These are our protective measures that all of our partners are doing. And then on Saturday, we've arranged and organized individuals that will staff our shelters. We're looking to open shelters. We want to open shelters for the public come 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. And then from that time on, we'll probably be sheltered until after this storm passes us, which will be sometime Monday, early Monday morning. So those are the things that we're doing to try to prepare for our community. Currently, we have identified 9 primary shelters, along with the 2 pet-friendly shelters, as well as the People's Special Needs Shelter, which we will not advertise those, but our health services who manages people's special needs, they will contact those individuals and provide a safe place for them.
Thank you. We've, I'm sure you all have received probably some communication from constituents regarding a number of issues. One has been sandbags, and I know some of our surrounding jurisdictions and some of our municipalities have run out of sand, have been directing them to Orange County, which certainly makes sense because if you're a resident of a municipality, you're a citizen of Orange County as well. Mr. Lechendani, do you want to give a quick update on where we stand in terms of sandbag operations?
Mayor, can I just ask Mr. Kunkel, because he has the latest numbers.
Right.
Obviously, Mayor, per your direction, we did the sandbag distribution yesterday. We did it today. We intend to do it tomorrow and wind down the operations on Saturday. But Mr. Kunkel has got all the numbers, and he is also going to tell you a few challenges that we have experienced.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Up till now, we have distributed over 66,000 sandbags at our 6 locations throughout Orange County.
To put that in perspective, for our last hurricane, how many did we
For
distribute?
the 2.5 days, 2.5-ish days, it was around 78,000. So this is about a full day's worth of work between yesterday and today, 66,000. We are working hard to make some more bags this evening, and we'll, again, do some more distribution tomorrow at the 6 centers that we've identified in Orange County. Last year, in Matthew, remember we had some logistical problems, and we worked through some of those. We've become very efficient, so efficient that we've been able to distribute 66,000 bags.
More quickly.
So quickly, and that's been our challenge, is that we had run out of pre-made bags, and so we were doing some hand filling, and that was hampering our operations today.
So one thing I wanted to make sure board members were aware of, if you get calls or complaints about this, we had said 7 to 7, and what we found last night, that people that were in line at 7 assumed that we would stay open until their sandbags were delivered. I can understand why people would think that. The reality is the lines were several hours long, and that also meant that our employees that had come in at 6:30 in the morning would potentially be there till 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So we stayed with the 7 to 7 schedule. What we've done today is made sure that we're calculating at each of the sites how long that line is, and when we reach the point where, and for several of our sites we've already reached that point, when we reach the point where we know that the line will take us till 7 o'clock, we're sending people away rather than let them sit there in the line and encouraging them to come back first thing in the morning. So if you get questions or concerns, I know I don't need to say this with the commissioners that are here, but please contact Ajit and make sure that your up-to-date information is constantly changing and status changes, so it's important to touch base. In fact, just earlier today, I was about to put out a very brief newsletter with a statement about one of our time schedules, and I met with Ajit and found out even myself it had changed. So just check back with Ajit. As far as when the hurricane, assuming that we good? Do you have anything else?
No, I'm done
okay.
here.
Assuming that we get impacts from the storm, which I think would be a reasonable expectation at this time, we will have a schedule of communication out to commissioners, and it'll take place through Deputy Chief Jim Fitzgerald, who I think all of you all know. He'll coordinate with each of you to determine a time where he'll touch base at least twice a day. If you're hearing things from, or you're seeing things in the district, I lived this, Commissioner Vanderlei, back in 2004, and there were things that I was seeing with, for instance, gated communities that at the EOC they wouldn't have known about. So if they're non-emergency, relay those to Fitzgerald when you're on the phone with him. If they're an emergency nature, call him directly. If he doesn't answer, call Ajit second. And so that the EOC is fully aware of what you're seeing and hearing on the ground. Any other questions that commissioners have? Because this is like the last time that we'll formally all get together, please.
Do we have a list of the shelters yet?
We have a list of the shelters, Commissioner Thompson, and we will provide that to you either late this evening or first thing tomorrow morning. They are going to be informing everybody of those shelters. We have 9 general purpose shelters, 2 pet-friendly shelters, and 2 PSN shelters. The PSN shelters, you have to be a registered member with somebody with a special need, persons with special need. These are people with medical needs who usually have oxygen devices and so on. We also have some secondary and tertiary shelters. We are constrained by the number of volunteers because we need shelter managers. Mm-hmm. And then we are receiving, we're always talking to the state, and the state is getting back to us wanting to open some shelters, and that decision we have not discussed with the mayor. We haven't made that decision because we are a county where evacuees from other counties will come. For those shelters, for us to open those shelters, the state usually provides National Guard, and they are the ones who provide everything. We just provide a shelter manager. So we are kind of like back and forth with them to figure out what shelters we need to open. There'll be Orange County schools. The food is provided by schools. State reimburses everything, but we have not worked out those logistics, and we have not run that by the mayor yet. So the situation will change, as the mayor said. But we'll give you these 9 plus 2 today. The PSN shelter, you have to be a registered PSN member to go through that. You just can't show up over there.
So you'll send out a communication, maybe through the mayor's office or through Ajit, and then we can assume that's a correct communication, and we can put it out through our channels.
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's extremely helpful to have, all the commissioners engaged
Absolutely.
in getting out that official information as soon as it's available. Commissioner Siplin.
I just was concerned with our staff knowing that they're still working full days and they also have to get prepared. And so I wanted to know when is the county going to make their announcement as it pertains to our staff that are separate from Public Works and that's already on the team for emergency responders. I just want to know for our regular staff, when can they know that, okay, you don't have to come in on Monday or half a day on Friday, so we can know, because our staffs are still working full-time,
So, Commissioner, the county is open for business tomorrow, full day, so there's no off time tomorrow. All the county staff are designated into essential or non-essential personnel. Essential personnel are those who have shift assignments and are needed in 24/7 operations, whether it's corrections, whether it's fire, whether it's utilities or other places that we have to run. Mm-hmm. Those folks know exactly what they have to do in those circumstances. We are going to be making a decision with the mayor's help on Saturday at EOC about whether or not the county should close on Monday. And that decision will be made by 6 o'clock Saturday evening. And that information will be provided. All the county employees have been told exactly where to go for that information. We have a phone tree. as well as we have a county employee website, and that website is manned 24/7 at times like this by human resources. And the reason we want to do that is because if this storm was to shift to the east significantly, we may have a awesome day Monday, just like we did in Matthew. On the other hand, we may end up closing the county both Monday and Tuesday. We're going to let you all know about that decision by 6 p.m. on Saturday. And I know that this might cause some hardship because schools are closed on Monday. But essentially, if the county is open on Monday and the schools are closed, that's just one of those situations that happens from time to time when there's a school holiday and the county is open. Because, so we are right now not making any decisions on whether the county is closed on Monday or not. As the mayor probably told you, we are not going to be picking up garbage on Monday, and that is because we have to tell all those truck drivers and everybody else whether to show up or not. So that, Monday there won't be any garbage pickup, and it's going to shift just like holiday, if Monday was a holiday. So that information is going out by Solid Waste Department and Utilities as we speak.
And Commissioner, I appreciate you asking the question, and we are mindful and sensitive to our employees' needs, but I'm also mindful and sensitive to the fact that we also work for the public, and most people in the private sector are working all day Friday and are having to make their arrangements in the evening. So just, trying not to put ourselves on a different platform than our constituents are on. In the private sector, most companies have not made decisions with regard to the school closing. We do understand the concern for parents, and we'll be monitoring the hurricane projections carefully, and 6 o'clock will be the latest if we have reason to believe that we have a greater confirmation. I got to tell you, Matthew was, for me, so remarkable because we really felt, I remember the moment where we were like, this is really serious as it's coming directly towards us. And then that jog in the next update was just amazing. So I always say, if there's anything predictable about hurricanes, it's their unpredictability.
This is Melissa Thomas with Florida National News. We just wrapped up the brief summary of the status of the prep for Hurricane Irma this weekend. So far, here's what we know. So far, 66,000 sandbags have been distributed throughout the county. They're currently in the process of creating more bags now. They'll have to hand stuff those, so that will slow down the process just a little bit. The 311 line is up and ready for those who do not speak English as their primary language. There are 15 volunteers who are ready to man the phones for those who need that service. And for those who need information about the shelters, there will be 9 shelters that will open on Saturday at 9. So stay tuned for that information. There are 2 shelters, one that is pet friendly and one that is specific for special needs families. Those folks will be contacted specifically regarding the arrangements that they'll need to get their families arranged to get into those shelters. Stay tuned to Florida National News for more information about Hurricane Irma. This is Melissa Thomas for Florida National News.